Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome you here. This event took place in October 1780 at 2 o'clock in the morning, when two American privateers, Captain Lane and Captain Cole, came ashore with their crews to raid the town of Liverpool, along with the fact that they were looking for Captain Bradford, and they were looking for his house. And you've got this picture yourself. You are on the main street of Liverpool. We are in the actual fish lots. The main street starts way down at Cameron's Corner. If any of you have been down on the waterfront, it's where Millbrook goes through. That was actually where the main part of town was. The part of town that you're in, that you see all the fancy homes now, were really the fish lots, and then got built up at a later date. And all along this shore were small fish shacks after the fort was gone following the War of 1812-14. So this is a very famous site you're sitting on. We're proud of the fact that the event took place here. We're one of the few places in Canada that can put it on the actual spot. So if you feel anything when you're sitting there, those of you that are sitting and those of you who are standing, those will be the ghosts of the past talking to you. Now the scene is set. The KOR obviously partying themselves out, as they were wont to do. They had been moved from uptown down here to the fish lots because they were so hard to live with, and the locals got rid of them, even though they were here to protect them. And we think, we can only surmise, but we think it was our sergeant's wedding party to Rebecca Lewin, one of the local girls, but we only surmise. We do know that they were well into their cups when they hit the tavern here, and in a few seconds you'll see what I mean as they come around the corner. And of course, a good army never marches without its colors, especially if they're at a wedding. You can always tell the drinking men, they're first. Now, as they're partying, you're setting the scene for the turncoat, and what that meant in the old days was one of the people participating would turn their coats inside out and become part of the enemy. And of course, Captain Cole and Captain Lane are waiting offshore for the signal, and it will come. And you'll see as the officers put them into bed for the night, and then I'll get you to watch my stage right, your stage left. And of course, if you're watching close, you'll notice that the barmaids are not adverse to advances from the men. They know the king pays well, and they're always looking for a shilling. And I'm sure there will be a little bit of that take place. You also have to remember that these men would have been going to bed at 9:30 or 10 o'clock. So this is quite late for them, pressing 1 o'clock in the morning. But all for the enemy's benefit. You can tell that the good captain's having lots of trouble getting his troops to move away from the good grog and head for the night's lodging. He didn't pull his sword yet, so they're still not that unruly. And as they're going to bed, Another stage for the scene is, of course, about 50 to 60 men came ashore, and the local militia, who you'll bump into in a little bit, are roused to the attack because these guys are in no shape for protecting us citizens. Now the good captain is coming back. He seems to be missing something, and he's got McLeod with him, and they're kind of eyeing the territory because, of course, they are in charge, and if something goes wrong, they are the ones that answer to the king, or in this case, to Halifax. Shrewd officers come back when the spoils are all to themselves. Now, a character called Prince Snow is one of the ones that the barmaid Mary has picked out to be her choice for the evening's fun, and you'll see in a moment as they depart. Ah, it was ever thus. Romance and money hand in hand. Is that jealousy, or is he in charge? Now we have to keep our eye out to sea. You must remember, as I said earlier, this is 2 o'clock in the morning, and there will be a trader. And we must keep our eyes down, my stage right, your stage left, to see. We have no ships coming in. We have to pretend that they're landing as we speak. Up the cove where you couldn't see them, and then they will take the little boats off the big ship. Ah, I see him immerse. Or is that emerge from the tent? He should be flogged, this man. These Americans that turned coat on us. It was a time in history when men's loyalties were sadly tested on both sides. And that's Roy the traitor. Prince Snow has now spotted him. We had to have a way so the local militia gets to find out. And you take off, sir, as quickly as you can. Send her back to Mama. You've lost your time at... I think we have a capture taking place. We can't take the wall of the tent up. It's unfair, because some of them will be in every state of undress. That's Captain Cole, and he's... I tell you, he's a loud deuce.
Bradford, you coward! Come out now, you skunk! We will find you no matter where
It's enough to wake the neighborhood, as you can tell.
Bradford! Bradford!
What's all this noise about? I'm trying to get some...
Bradford! Bradford! Halt!
I might point out, after some number of years, we actually have the right broom this year. That is a historic sweeping broom for the kitchen. And that's Mr. Heater waking up in the middle of the night, doesn't know what's happening yet. And he is hunting for Captain Bartlett's home, and it's just around the corner, actually, in actual fact, whereas it would have been a longer trip. And remember, this is after 2 o'clock in the morning.
Bradford! Come out, you coward! Bradford!
I think his obnoxious voice and his loudness has brought out the troops to capture him as he's being taken custody of.
Stand back to the fort! Back to the fort!
A few have escaped, including poor Mr. Heater's going to jail, I can tell. He moves well for an old man. Dastardly crew, those Americans. No sense of ha-ha. And now I believe there will be a discussion over all these lost souls.
You'll pay for this. You'll pay for this. I have men out of the fort.
Now we're looking for Captain Lane to come out and discuss the situation. Face to face, of course.
What's going on here? Captain Cole. What is that situation?
I'll have to discuss it with Mr. Perkins. Mr. Perkins thinks he's in charge here.
Where is Mr. Perkins?
I am Mr. Perkins. My terms are simple. Release the king's stores, all prisoners exchanged, and you and your scurvy lot leave and never come back.
Captain Lane, I think it's time for us to leave this town, accept his terms. There's nothing really here worth much. Obviously, the people don't have a strong spine. Let's go someplace where we can live with pride.
I accept. Get back your men. We keep all the king's supplies. Make up for the sloop you stole from us.
Now listen to me, Captain. The men of Liverpool are well armed, they're eager to fight, and if you choose to challenge us, I guarantee you, you will lose.
To the muskets, Captain. To the muskets.
Strong words from a man in charge of the town with the militia in the shape his was in.
Retreat. Retreat to the fort.
I think the Americans are going to discuss this a whole lot deeper. And you must remember in this whole event, you're going to have a little firing, and that's why you're behind the line. And there wasn't a shot fired in this event. Holy mackerel. Some of those are well loaded. Oh. Prime and low, just keep going. It's hardly safe here. I believe that Captain Lane's about to make a tough decision here.
Come on, Captain Lane.
He's calling for his man. We're looking for a flag here.
Come on, you don't have a fight.
I think they're asking for your patience, gentlemen. I think they're raising the white flag of truce. Seems to be negotiations are going to take another turn.
Have you accepted my terms?
We accept your terms. Give us Captain Cole. We're leaving.
Release Captain Cole. Boys, come arrest the traitor. Nice to meet your acquaintance.
And I have to tell you, these are gentlemen of the day, in case you were wondering. They would have been the ones who called the shots.
Retreat. Retreat.
Send us the traitor. Boys, come arrest him.
Thanks to the local militia, we survive. Now they'll have a final feu de joie and a cannon shot on the waterfront. Thank you for your patience, and that is the Battle of Liverpool 2012. And since they're celebrating Canada Day, that's the first time this was done, and it was done by the Kinsman Club and the Lions Club of Liverpool, and they wore white and red so you could really tell them apart, and they ran the whole length of Main Street. It was a lot of fun at the time, apparently, and thanks again for coming.